Most men think going down on a woman is all about technique. But even the best technique can fall flat if you make these mistakes. Have you ever been there? Between her legs, confident, knowing exactly what to do, and yet she doesn't react the way you hoped? Maybe she seems tense. Maybe she's not making the sounds you expected. Or maybe she's just quiet. Well, you're in luck because today I'm going to share 5 things women secretly wish you'd stop doing when you go down on them. By the end, you'll know exactly how to turn oral sex from something she tolerates into something she craves. Dr. Emma Blake, your trusted men's health advisor. And make sure you watch closely because mistake number 3 is the exact reason she ends up feeling less pleasure, not more. And most men have no idea they're even doing it. If you want to become unforgettable in the bedroom, hit that subscribe button because we're going deep today. Let's start with the first mistake. Something almost every man does without knowing it's the fastest way to disconnect her. Imagine you're about to get the best massage of your life, but the therapist only rubs the same spot on your back over and over again. No matter how good the pressure is, after a while it stops feeling good. Well, that's exactly what happens when you focus only on her genitals. Most men would love it if all the attention was on their penis. But for women, ignoring the rest of the body makes them feel disconnected, no matter how skilled you are. See, women's arousal doesn't work like ours. For men, it's quick, focused, direct. But for women, arousal spreads through the entire nervous system, its full body. So instead, engage her whole body, her belly, her thighs, her hips, her chest. Run your hands along her sides. Kiss the inside of her wrists. Trace your fingers down her spine. When she feels every part of her being touched, she relaxes. And that relaxation, that's how you create the space for deeper pleasure and maybe even a full-body orgasm. Think of it like turning on lights in a house. You don't just flip on one switch and expect the whole place to glow. You turn them on room by room. Touch her everywhere and you'll notice how much more responsive she becomes. Her breathing deepens. Her body softens and she starts to crave what's coming next. Now, mistake number 2 starts before you even get between her legs. Have you ever tried to cook a perfect steak by tossing it into a cold pan and then blasting the heat? It ends up tough and burnt on the outside and raw in the middle. That's what happens when you dive in too fast. Oral isn't foreplay for women. It's the main course. She needs her body warmed up first. So start by heating up her mind with words that tell her how much you want her. Text her earlier in the day. Whisper something that makes her think about you. Then when you're together, warm her senses by tracing your fingers along her skin and whispering in her ear. Finally, warm her body. Kiss her belly, her thighs, her hips. Let her crave you so much she's begging for your mouth. When you build that anticipation, when you take your time getting there, her body responds completely differently. Blood flow increases to all the right places. Sensitivity heightens. And honestly, she becomes 10 times more receptive to everything you do. Rushing kills arousal. Patience builds it. Now, mistake number 3 is something that almost always makes her pull back, even if she doesn't tell you. See, too many men try to mimic thrusting with their tongue or fingers, thinking more speed equals more pleasure. But for most women, it's the opposite. Women crave a slower buildup. So start gentle, savor the moment, and gradually increase intensity only when you feel her body is ready for more. Pay attention to her breathing, the sounds she makes, how her hips move. Those are your signals. When you rush, when you go hard and fast right away, you're overwhelming her instead of building her up. Think of it like this. Arousal for women is like turning up a dimmer switch, not flipping on a light. Slow, steady, gradual. That's what gets her there. And when you finally do increase intensity, it feels like a natural progression, not a sudden shock to her system. The problem is, most men base their technique on what they've seen in adult films or what they think should work. But real intimacy doesn't follow a script. It follows her body's natural rhythm. And when you learn to read that rhythm instead of imposing your own, everything changes. Now, mistake number 4 is all about the clitoris. A lot of men think it's the Holy Grail. And yes, it's incredible. But here's what most don't realize. When you only focus there, you actually limit her pleasure. Think of it like serving a 5-course meal, but only letting her eat dessert. Sure, dessert is delicious, but she's missing out on all the flavors that make the experience unforgettable. The clitoris has over 8,000 nerve endings, which is more than any other part of the human body. So, yes, it's sensitive. But too much direct attention, especially too soon, can feel overwhelming or even cause numbness. It's like turning the volume up to maximum before the song even starts. It's too much, too fast. Explore everything. Her outer lips, the area around her clitoris, her inner thighs, the perineum. Mix up the sensations. Use different pressures, different rhythms, different patterns. Tease the area around the clitoris before you go directly there. When you play with variety, you create a buildup that feels richer, deeper, and way more exciting for her. Don't just fixate on one spot. Women have thousands of nerve endings in that entire area. Use them all. Build layers of sensation instead of hammering away at one point. And honestly, if you want a deeper understanding of exactly what works and what doesn't, I put together a free guide called 5 Oral Mistakes Most Men Make. Learn what to do instead. It's a complete breakdown of the science behind female pleasure, how to read her body's cues, why rhythm and variation matter more than speed or intensity, and how to turn physical touch into emotional connection. Can download it for free in the description below. There. And finally, mistake number 5 is the one that can undo everything you did right. Have you ever been at a party having the time of your life and suddenly everyone disappears, leaving you alone in the middle of the room? Well, that's what it feels like when you skip after air. When a woman orgasms, her body floods with oxytocin, the bonding hormone, warmth and connection. So after she comes, stay, hold her, kiss her, let her feel seen and cherished. Give her at least 15 minutes to unwind. This is what turns good oral sex into unforgettable intimacy for her. And honestly, this is what separates guys she forgets from guys she can't stop thinking about. See, most men treat orgasm like the finish line. They get her there and then it's over. But for women, the moments after climax are just as important as the buildup. Her nervous system is wide open. Her emotions are heightened. She's vulnerable. And if you just roll over or get up and leave, she feels abandoned. But when you stay, when you hold her close, when you whisper something kind or just breathe with her, you're creating a bond that goes way beyond physical pleasure. You're giving her emotional connection. And for women, those two things are inseparable. Here's what I want you to remember. Great oral sex isn't about speed or intensity. It's about engaging her whole body, building anticipation instead of rushing, starting slow and increasing gradually, exploring variety instead of fixating on one spot, and staying connected afterward. The men who understand this don't just satisfy their partners, they create experiences women crave over and over again. Because you're not just giving her an orgasm, you're giving her intimacy, safety, and emotional fulfillment. If this changed how you think about intimacy, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and tell me which mistake you didn't realize you were making. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves because you're worth